Hey everybody, Chris from Retzone here. Welcome to my pile of Genesis. I don't know, you decide. I don't know what to call these. Whoops, bumped the camera. Sorry. So today I picked up something I have been looking for a while. And I have been told they're utter crap. But I had to finish my collection, so I picked up a Genesis 3. It came with a third-party controller. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the original controller, which, from the pictures I've seen on the internets, look pretty cool. This one's a bit of an oddball because by the time this guy came out, and I don't know what year that was, there's no dates on here, it was licensed out to Majesco. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but Majesco. Yes, they actually made this console for Sega. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got a little bit of wear here, but overall it looks pretty good. It's pretty bargain basement. I mean, there's no lights. All you get is this bright orange thing, you know, on. And what I find strange is that the AV out and the A power is on the side rather than the back. This is a mono-only console. So what I decided to do is I wanted to see how these three compared to each other. So I've used 3 games here: Sonic, Bloodlines, and Streets of Rage 2, and I recorded footage from each one running on these 3 different consoles here. And we'll see how they compare. Now, from my personal experience, I expect this one to be the best, this one to be second, and of course this one, being the bargain basement, to be third. Now this is a TMSS Genesis because it has the high definition graphics on it, and it has the additional extension port on the back. I do have a non-TMSS Genesis. I don't know how they differ hardware-wise, what kind of sound chips or whatnot are in the non-TMSS versus the TMSS Genesis. I try to say that 5 times fast. And also we'll pop this open and have a look at how they made this so small and simple. I'm almost guessing, now I don't know if Majesco made them or not, but the Nomads, I wouldn't be surprised if this has a similar layout to a Nomad. I don't have a Nomad, so I don't actually know, but it wouldn't surprise me if the board in here is similar to that. I don't know if Majesco made the Nomads or if Sega actually made them. I don't know. So I ran each of these consoles through my Retzone.ca TX. I did try to use my AverMedia capture card, but it did not like the Retzone. The video was okay, but the audio came through super slow and distorted. It was really weird, but it still synced up to the video and it wasn't lagged out or anything. It was the weirdest thing. So I have my old USB capture card, the EasyCoo, and luckily it's not as good as the AverMedia, obviously. It was able to record from the Retzone, so. And actually it turned out pretty good. I mean, it was a bargain basement. Well, not actually bargain basement. I paid $100 for it on Amazon and it had good reviews. And I mean, if you compare it directly to the AverMedia, it's gonna fail, of course, but on its own, it stands up. So take the video quality with a grain of salt, but keep an eye on the colors and the sound between these 3 consoles. So what I'll do is I'll play the same sequence from all 3 consoles, and then I'll flip between the audio. I don't know how well that's gonna work, but first time I'm doing this, so we'll give it a try. So I think the first thing I want to do is clean off this beautiful workspace of mine. And we'll just take this quickly apart and see what we got inside here. It looks like 4 screws and boom, it's apart. So let's have a quick tear down of this. BRB. I did want to mention one thing before we get to the teardown. A friend of mine asked me about, does this work with a Genesis 3? Now, unfortunately, I don't have any 32X cartridges. I have not come across any locally to buy, so I don't even know if this thing works or not. I need to talk to a friend of mine and see if he can actually just plunk Genesis carts into it. Does it play Genesis carts? At least I can test it if it plays Genesis carts. But it does fit, but I'm pretty sure it does not work. But it has the same ports as a Model 2. It's got the same AC adapters as Model 2 and the same AV cable. Not that that makes any difference, but this is mono only, so I don't know if that is the deal breaker for the 32X. But anyway, there you have it. Genesis 3 with a 32X stuck on it. If this was a little bit longer, it would look like a Star Destroyer. Like if you take the CDX, which actually works with the 32X, although it's not supposed to work with 32X, it looks like a Star Destroyer with the CDX. I had a CDX years ago and unfortunately I sold it. I totally regret selling it now because it is one hell of a neat console, but now they are absolutely unobtainium right now due to price. I think the last time I checked they were between $500 and $600 for a used one, so again, I regret selling mine, but that's life. I was young, I was dumb, I needed money, so I probably didn't get much for it. Anyway, let's get to the teardown. All right, let's start taking these screws out here. I'll have to do this by hand. Now this feels like it's never been taken apart before. 1, 2, 3, There is no screw. Oh no, there is a screw, but it's over here. 4, Okay, so I'll just shift you over here. So hopefully this comes apart really easy. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so here's the underside of the cover. Feels sturdy. And there we have a RF shield, which I should have expected. All right. I am going electric for this. That didn't actually feel like it was screwed into anything. Okay, that was a machine screw. That one, I unscrewed the wrong screw. Wrong screw. Okay, that's also a machine screw. How strange. And there we have it. Here is a Model 3 Genesis. So we got the big ass. So it looks like they put all the chips into one here. That looks like a bit of system RAM. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. There's a Sony chip here. Ironic. NEC chip, Sega. CSPD CAD team. PCBD MD3 V82. Reset button, power button. Unless there's something on the other side of the board, there's not much here to look at. I was hoping to see a music chip, but I guess it's probably made in Korea. Interesting. 1998. Caps all look good. Minor spillage here. Or that could be just flux. Really curious if there's anything underneath. Alright, here we go. And absolutely nothing. Sega 1998. Okay. I wonder what these are for. Well, as you can see, there's no expansion ports on this because this is the ultra cheap, but it looks, you know, decently made. It looks like this Genesis has been around because this is from my local retailer. Yeah, that's what I paid for it. This looks like it's from a different retailer, and this looks like it's from a different retailer. So this guy's been around a little bit. A little bit of... I don't know if they cleaned it with a Brillo pad or something, but... I don't know. It, you know, considering it's from 1998, it's in pretty good shape. So... let's start playing games on these things and see what we get. So the first comparison I'd like to do is the opening Konami logo from Bloodlines. So here we have Genesis 3. And now we have the Genesis 2. And the Genesis 1. You'll notice that the Genesis 3 actually has the cleanest sound, but it's mono. The Genesis 2 has a very, very crunchy sound to it. And the Genesis 1 has a little bit of crunch to it, but it's also very clean. Now, take into consideration that these are, at least these two are, the Genesis 1 and 2 are 30 years old. Well, I guess they're all 30 years old. But I guess we could also take into account, you know, bad caps and, you know, corrosion and stuff like that. I mean, these were well used before I got them, so. So now let's compare Bloodlines running on the 3 different consoles. And we'll start with the Genesis 3, the 2, and then the 1. I have to say, after watching all 3 clips strung together like that, that the Model 3 and the Model 1 actually tie. The Model 1 wins out because it has a very nice stereo stage to it, and to get that I had to actually use the headphone output on the Genesis 1 and plug it into the audio inputs on the Retzone because the cables I have are mono only, and I think the AV out is only mono on the Genesis. I'll have to look in to see if there's a stereo mod. But they both have the same quality, pretty much, and the difference is stereo and mono. So they must have used the low-pass filtering from the Model 1 and applied it to the 3. The 2 sounds really horrible. It's very crunchy. You can hear the artifacts from the audio samples. It's just not good all around. Now, the video between all 3 look pretty close to me. I think there's some slight color difference with the Model 2, but that might be just due to age. But they all look pretty good, actually. So let's move on to Streets of Rage 2 and compare the 3 that way. That one's more demanding for the audio, I find, so this is a good test. Wow, that was amazing. The Genesis 3 and the Genesis 1 are very similar, but the Genesis 2, it just sounds like tinny garbage. I don't know what Sega did to that poor console. Also, there's a slight color difference with that one as well. As I mentioned earlier, the video output of all three are good, except for that little color difference on 2 there. But wow, the difference between 2 and 1 and 3 is just night and day, and 2 is the worst sounding. So now that we've heard that game, let's move on to Sonic running on the 3 Genesis and check that out. Sega! Well, again, we could see that the Model 1 and the Model 3 are pretty close in video and sound. The Model 2, the video is okay, but it has that weird green tinge to it, so... But the audio on the 2, that is just... Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So if you're looking for a Genesis, and you want... Well, I see the caveats are, if you get a Model 1, you get the good audio, but you don't get stereo audio out of the AV jack on the back. If you come across a Model 3, it sounds good, but it's not a stereo console. I don't know if that's a big deal to everybody, but personally, I like stereo consoles. Up until making this video, I didn't mind the Model 2. I'm not going to make any decisions about the video because the color tint could be a bad capacitor or whatnot, but the audio is unforgivable. A friend of mine did mention that the 32X might actually clean up the audio from the Model 2. So maybe the 32X has some better audio circuitry in it and it just bypasses whatever crap they threw into the Model 2 Genesis. But I definitely love the sound of my Model 1 Genesis. It's got that really nice sound to it. But that concludes this video comparing the Model 1, Model 2, and Model 3 Genesis. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more great content from Retzone.ca, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later.